In the summer of 1995, the physicist Albert Einstein and Erwin Schrödinger were engaged in a rich, multifaceted, and sometimes fateful correspondence about the implication of the new theory of quantum mechanics. So, we will discuss for कुछ implication इसकी क्या implication होगी new theory quantum mechanics की ठीक है. The focus of their worry was what Schrödinger later dubbed entanglement. The focus क्या था इनका entanglement worry से entanglement worry कर रहे थे inability to describe two quantum systems or particles independently after their entanglement मतलब है जिससे जो मतलब ये बोल रहे हैं इनका worry कर रहा है ये मुझे तो क्या परेशान कर रहा था कि हम इसको डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकते हम unable to describe two quantum particles separately नहीं कर पा रहे until his death Einstein remained convinced until his death Einstein ये वरी कैसे entangle नहीं करेगा until his death Einstein remained convinced that entanglement showed how quantum mechanics was incomplete है तो इसका मानना था कि अनेबल है हमारी इनएबिलिटी है तो ये हम इसको मान लो ये इनकम्प्लीट है quantum mechanics was incomplete है as thought that entanglement was the defining feature of the new physics is another feature and defining feature but this did not mean that he accepted it lightly. Your defining feature here. I know, of course, how the hocus and focus works mathematically. He wrote to Einstein, but I do not like such a theory. ठीक है तो मतलब इसमें डिफाइन ढंग से डिफाइनिंग फीचर है फिजिक्स का बट इसने इसको लाइफ ले लिया तो ये एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है एस फेमस कैट फर्स्ट अपीयर्ड इन थ्री लेटर्स suspended letter life and death first appeared in these letters a byproduct of the struggle to articulate what both the feeling. ठीक है इसने पूरा डिफाइनिंग फीचर है द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट एंटेंगलमेंट वायोलेट्स हाउ द वर्ल्ड शुड वर्क है द एंटेंगलमेंट की प्रॉब्लम क्या है ये वायोलेट होता है वर्ल्ड को कैसे काम करना चाहिए जैसे कि इंफॉर्मेशन कांट ट्रेवल फास्टर देन स्पीड information can't travel faster than the speed of light for one violate was well. In 1984, it violates not the world violates can travel faster than the but in 1985 people the problem is that entanglement violates the world and how the world should work है ठीक है ये entanglement violate करता है तो कैसे ऐसे काम होने चाहिए वो तो नहीं ऐसा नहीं होगा but in a 1935 paper Einstein his co-authors showed how entanglement leads to what's now called quantum non-locality ठीक है तो ये entanglement से क्या होता है quantum non-locality आती है ये क्या होता है the link that appears to exist between entangled particles है ये लिंक entangled particles के बीच में जो लिंक होता है उसे क्वांटम नॉन लोकैलिटी बोलते हैं if two quantum system meets and then separate ठीक है पहले मीट होगा फिर सेपरेट होगा इवन अगर डिस्टेंस थाउजेंड्स ऑफ लाइट से ठीक है सेपरेट होगा इट बिकम्स इम्पॉसिबल टू मेजर द फीचर ऑफ वन सिस्टम ठीक है एक बार मीट होगा फिर सेपरेट होगा फिर उनको फीचर उनके वो हम मेजर नहीं कर सकते इम्पॉसिबल विदाउट इंस्टेंटली स्टीयरिंग द अदर इनटू करस्पॉन्डिंग स्टेट अब वो ये रीड कैसे करता है वायलेट करता है अप टू डेट the most experiments have tested entanglement over spatial gaps. The assumption is that the non-local part of the quantum non-locality refers to the entanglement of properties across space. Up to date, and known most experiments have tested entanglement over spatial gaps. Okay. More entanglement over spatial gaps. So the assumption is that the non-local part of the quantum non-locality refers to the entanglement of properties across space. But what if entanglement also occurs across time? Is there such a thing as temporal non-locality? ठीक है ऑपरेटिंग में एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं बट स्पेस का एक्सपेरिमेंट किया बट एंटेंगलमेंट हम सब स्टार्ट एंटेंगलमेंट का टाइम क्या कि उसके बाद केस की टेम्पोरल नॉन लोकेलिटी भी the answer is yes. Just when you thought quantum mechanics couldn't get any weirder, just when you thought quantum mechanics couldn't get any weirder, the team of physicists at the Harvard University of Jerusalem, Harvard University of Jerusalem reported in 2013 that they had successfully entangled photons that never could exist. Previous experiments involving a technique called entanglement swapping had already showed quantum correlations across time by delaying the measurement of one of the coexisting entangled particles. Lee Mangadish and his collaborators were the first to show entanglement between photons whose lifespan did not overlap at all. Time across the here's how they did it. First, they created an entangled pair of photons, one and two. Step one in the diagram below. Soon after, they measured the polarization of photon one. They gave appropriate describing the direction of light oscillation and thus killing it. Photons two was sent on a wild goose chase while a new entangled pair of three four was created. Photon three was then measured along with the itinerant photon two. Such a way that the entangled relation was swept from the old pairs 1, 2, and 3, 4 on to new 2, 3. Sometime later, the polarization of the long survivor photon 4 is measured and the results are compared with the other long dead photon 1. The upshot, the data revealed the existence of quantum correlations between temporal and non-local photons 1 and 4, that is, the entanglement occur across two quantum systems that never progressed. What on earth can this mean है इसका क्या मतलब है Prima facie it seems at first sight it seems as troubling as saying that polarity of starlight in the far distant past it seems as troubling as saying that the polarity of starlight in the far distant far say greater than twice Earth's lifespan. Nevertheless, impels the polarity of starlight falling through. What on earth can this mean? Earth facie at first sight it seems as troubling as saying the polarity of the starlight in the far distant past. Nevertheless, influence the polarity of the starlight falling through our electro telescope this winter. That seems the troubling as saying the polarity of starlight at distance past of the influence earlier. Even more bizarrely, maybe it implies that the measurement carried out by our eye upon starlight falling through a telescope this winter somehow dictated the polarity of the photons more than 9 billion years. Something I forgot. Lest this scenario strike you to outlanders. Fish and his colleagues can't resist speculating on possible or rather spooky interpretations of the results. Perhaps the measurement of photon one polarization had step to somehow steers the future for the measurement of photon four polarization. Relates the past polarization instead of photon one. Both forward and backward directions, the quantum correlations find the causal void between the death of one photon and the birth of the other. Just a spoonful of activity helps the spookiness go down. Just a spoonful will make the spookiness go down, and though in developing his theory of special relativity, Einstein deposed the concepts of simultaneity from its Newtonian pedestal. As a consequence, simultaneity went from being an absolute power to being a relative one. There is no single timekeeper of the universal. There is no single timekeeper of the universal. Precisely when something is occurring depends on a precise location related to what we are observing. Instance of temporal separation is to accept that polling events simultaneous carries little metaphysical weight. So the key to avoiding the strange polling behavior in instances of temporal separation is to accept that polling events simultaneous carries little metaphysical weighting. It is only a frame specific property, a choice among many alternatives, but equally viable ones, a matter of conventional form. The lesson carries over directly to both spatial and temporal quantum non-locator. The lesson carries over directly to mysteries regarding entangled pair of particles amount to disagreements about mysteries regarding entangled pair of particles amount to disagreements about labeling brought about by related. Labeling. And since showed no sequence of events can be metaphysically privileged, only by accepting this insight can one make headway on such mountain. So to speak. While these students will disagree about how things went down here, not one of them can claim a corner open truth. A different sequence of events unfolds within each one, according to that spatio-temporal point of view. Clearly than any attempt to aligning frame-specific properties generally, or trying generally properties of one particular frame will cause disputes among the students. But here's the thing. While there might be legitimate disagreement about which property should be assigned to which particles and when, there shouldn't be a disagreement about the very existence of these properties, particles, and events. Wedge between classical institutions and empirical realities of quantum mechanics. These findings between classical and as goes through these findings have yet another wedge between our beloved classical intuitions and the empirical realities of quantum mechanics, as was true for in his contemporary scientific progresses going to involve investigating the limitations of certain metaphysical views. At half alive and half dead was readily illustrate how the entanglement is susceptible to microscopic phenomena that defy our usual understanding of the relations between objects and their properties and organisms, such as cat is either daddy alive, no middle dot. These findings drive yet another wedge between our beloved classical theory finding and the online disagreements प्रॉपर्टीज बता सकते हैं। एक और सेपरेशन करिए क्लासिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन एम्पिरिकल। This as was to focus and is contemplative scientific progress is going to involve investigating the limitations of certain metaphysical laws. Scientific progress will be investigated areas at a half alive and half dead was created to illustrate how the entanglement of systems leads to microscopic phenomena that defy usual understanding of the relation between objects and the most contemporary philosophical accounts of the relationship between objects and their properties embrace entanglement solely from the perspective of spatial non-locality. We can in most contemporary philosophical accounts of the relation between objects and the properties embrace entanglement solely from the perspective of spatial non-locality. सही कर रहे हैं, but there is still significant work to be done for improving temporal locality, not only in object property discussion, but also in debates about material combinations, such as the relation between and part whole relations, such as how to handle. For example, the puzzles of how parts fit within overall whole resumes clear-cut spatial boundaries among underlying objects and spatial non-locality quotients against this view. Temporal non-locality further complicates the picture. How does one describe an entity whose constituents part are not even cognizant? Discerning the nature of entanglement might at times be an uncomfortable project. It's not clear what substantive metaphysics might emerge from scrutiny or fascinating reasoning by likes of it. In a letter to as notes Riley, one has the feeling that it is precisely the most